Stromboli for Wi-Fi, thank you for subscribing, and Canis Stultus with 20 bits says, Hannah, were you aware that Jared Fogle tried to use the sovereign citizen defense in court? I heard about that. Well, yeah, let me see if I can find something on it. Jared Fogle, sovereign citizen. Let's see if we can find anything on it. Jared Fogle just tried to get out of his sex crime sentence with a legal Hail Mary. Hold on, let me sign in for my fucking Washington Post account. Just keep me signed in so I don't have to keep doing this. God, I hate it. Give me a sec. Come on, go back. Go back. It's not even letting me go back. Yes. Sorry. I'm working on it, guys. Is it gonna work? It's not even working. Great, thanks. Guess I'll use something other than the Washington Post. You heard today from Lucid Fox that Jeremy wrote an article for Stormfront? I heard about it, yeah. I'm not familiar with it, but I have heard that that was a thing. Convicted former Subway pitchman has sovereign citizen approach rejected. A federal judge in Indianapolis has rejected a sovereign citizen argument made by convicted former Subway pitchman Jared Fogle. U.S. District Judge Tanya Walton Pratt said Fogle's pro se filing was frivolous and she was rejected as motion to correct clear error. The Indiana lawyer, the Indianapolis Star, and the Washington Post have stories on Pratt's November 8th order. Fogle was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in prison in November 2015 after pleading guilty to traveling across state lines to engage in sexual conduct with a minor and distribution and receipt of child pornography. He was represented by lawyers at the time. In his latest filing, Fogle relies on an amicus belief written by a fellow inmate that challenges the court's subject matter jurisdiction. The inmate wrote that the lawfulness of a judicial judgment depends on whether the sovereign has authority to render it. If Fogle is claiming to be sovereign, Pratt wrote, the Chicago-based 7th U.S. District Court of Appeals has rejected the theory. She cited past decisions finding that the sovereign citizen defense is shop-worn and without conceivable validity in American law. I do remember reading about this when it happened at the time. So Jared Fogle basically tried to do what some sovereign citizens will do in court, which is they will try and bring up, oh, why does the court have authority over me? Does the court have jurisdiction to make rulings in this matter? Now, this is something that goes on in all court cases. You want to make sure that the court that you're hearing the whatever case is being tried in, you want to make sure that the court has jurisdiction, has the right to make rulings about this case for these people. So if it's like a family court thing, you want to make sure it's in family court. If it's a criminal thing, it's going to be in criminal court. If it's civil court. You know what I mean? It's got to be in the correct form. It has to go through the correct courts, is what I'm trying to say. Sovereign citizens will take this to an extreme, though, and claim, oh, so jurisdiction, you have to prove that you have jurisdiction in this area. I want you, the judge and the court, to collectively show me that you have jurisdiction over me as an individual citizen. I believe I am sovereign and the laws do not apply to me because I do not consent to them. Therefore, prove to me that you have authority over me, and if you don't do that, then I get to go free. It's ridiculous. It's basically being 6 years old and asking, like, okay, but why do laws apply to me? The answer's not the most pleasant, but I'll explain it. Tucker White 94 20 minutes. Did Jared pull the legal equivalent of saying nuh-uh? Basically, yes. So if you don't know, you are not a sovereign citizen, and this is something Jake. I like Jake's streams, and Jake is, my closest friend. However, he uses the term sovereign citizen a lot incorrectly, and when you go over to Jake's stream and he does this, tell him I said no. That's not what that word means. Stop it. Tell him I said stop it. I've said it before, but he doesn't listen. Okay. A citizen, by definition, is not sovereign. It is an oxymoron. You cannot be a sovereign citizen. Sovereign means you stand on your own and you are your own authority with absolutely no responsibilities, no rights, nothing. You would basically have to be a nomad, orphaned at sea, and you have no idea where you're from. Like, you would have to be countryless, basically. And even then, you're not really sovereign the second you step foot in a country, because countries are sovereign. Cities can even be sovereign. You as an individual cannot be sovereign. You know who could theoretically be sovereign? Superman. You know why Superman could be sovereign? Or a better example would probably be Homelander from the show The Boys. Because he is a one-man army that can literally not be stopped by anyone. Okay? That's what makes him sovereign. What makes the United States sovereign is the fact that it can defend itself from outside threats and inside threats. The rule of law in America stands up because America can back its laws up with enforcement by the police, by the courts. You are not sovereign as an individual. If you go to a courtroom and you're like, well, why does the court have jurisdiction over me? The Joker once said very wise words, and those words were, we live in a society. The social contract exists. It's not something you have to consent to. It is a de facto state of being when you live in any place with other people and the government has been set up. A government that can back up its wants with force. Okay? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It just is what it is. That's the reality of human society. We have countries and cities and states and everything in between, and they can back up their claims to exist because they have enough people agreeing with them that they aren't being overthrown, and they can back up the laws that are passed with threats of being locked up or fines or whatever the thing happens to be. It doesn't have to be an extreme like Jared Fogle. It could be a parking ticket. Your parking ticket has jurisdiction because the city that made that ticket is the city you live in, and they run the jails, and they are where the cops, we all agree we're participating in society, de facto. Asking a judge why they have authority over you as a judge, you might as well go into the courtroom and start cracking eggs over your own face. It would be as good of a legal defense. It just makes you look stupid. It makes you look incredibly stupid to not understand that, okay, well, we have organized our society in such a way as that, we have laws, and you have to follow those laws, and if you don't, you're gonna go to jail. It's just weird. Just very, very strange. Rich F with 50 bits, sending my bits because you read my message beforehand of my first stream. Love your work. Cheers from Brazil. Thank you. Appreciate it. Logarth with 50 bits. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Not a ton. We're reading about Jared Fogle trying to do sovereign citizen stuff. Let me see if there's anything from the... We'll do law and crime, okay? Some more about this. Disgraced former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle failed to overturn his conviction last Wednesday, his argument that the government simply did not have jurisdiction over him. Yep, it's the sovereign citizen defense. He pleaded guilty in 2015 to traveling to engage in sexual conduct with a minor and to distribution and receipt of child porn. That didn't stop him from filing in Indiana federal court with the help of a jailhouse lawyer, Frank Edwin Pate, who is an inmate, at Fogle's prison. Here's another tip. Get lawyers if you can afford them. If you can't, get whatever public defender, is afforded to you in the United States. At no point in your legal defense should your cellmate say something like, hey, I got a brilliant new legal strategy for you. At no point should that happen and you go, yeah, I'm going to listen to this guy. You know why you shouldn't listen to that guy? He's in jail with you. If he had brilliant legal strategies that could get you out of jail, why is he in jail? Why is he in jail then? Shouldn't he have done this brilliant legal strategy that no one's ever thought of before? Just a thought, Jared. From Judge Tanya Walton Pratt's ruling, Pate's filing contends the district court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over Fogel's states. Quote, whether a judicial judgment is lawful depends on whether the sovereign has authority to render it, end quote. If Fogel is now claiming to be sovereign, the Seventh Circuit has rejected theories of individual sovereignty, immunity from prosecution, and their ilk. The judge who previously sentenced Fogel to 15 and a half years behind bars cites rulings that countered this sort of argument. This includes the 1997 Circuit Court opinion in the United States versus Schneider. Pratt quoted where the court described the sovereign citizen defense as having no conceivable validity in American law. Yeah. This has been tested, guys. Anytime a sovereign citizen wants to go to court over this stuff, they can do it. They have their day in court, provided that, you know, they're being charged with something and whatever. They can do that, but it's going to fall flat. You can say whatever you want in court. Doesn't mean it's going to work. Let me see if I can get the actual paperwork. Jared Fogel, sovereign citizen, court filing. I want to read it if I can find it. Fogel seeks $57 million in damages in DC filing. Is this the same Fogel or is that a different Fogel?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Bro Bible. Courthousenews.com. Maybe this will have a link to the actual filing. Zinaby with 100 bits. It's way too late over here for me to keep watching. F's and bits and good night. Well, thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. That's a ruling. Maybe attach to the ruling? I don't know. Okay. Oh, God, this is such a short ruling. Look at that. It's barely a page with all the, if you took out, like, the signature stuff and the you know, court case formatting at the top that's like the United States versus Jared Fogel. Wow. Order denying motion to correct clear error. Defendant Jared Fogel's frivolous pro se motion, pro se meaning, of course, to make filings or represent yourself in court without a lawyer, which is always a bad idea, even if you are a lawyer. Defendant Jared Fogel's frivolous pro se motion to correct clear error pursuant to Rule 52B DKT is denied. Ooh, you gotta love that denied in bold. Fogel challenges the court's subject matter jurisdiction over him on November 19th, 2015. Fogel, represented by restrained counsel Andrew Richard DeVoot, not sure, Jeremy Margolis, and Ronald E. Elberger, entered a plea of guilty to and was sentenced on count 1, conspiracy to distribute, receive child pornography, and distribution, receipt of child pornography in violation of 18 U.S.C. 2252A2, and count 2, traveling and attempting to travel in interstate commerce to engage in illicit sexual conduct with a minor in violation of 18 U.S.C. 2423B and E. On July 1st, 2016, Fogel's conviction and a 188-month sentence were affirmed on appeal in United States versus Fogel, 825 F.3D55, 7th Circuit, 2016. Title 18 U.S.C. 3231 provides that the District Court of the Federal United States shall have original jurisdiction, exclusive of the courts of the states, of all offenses against the United States. The District Court clearly had subject matter jurisdiction over Fogel's criminal proceedings. Basically, District Courts of the United States shall have original jurisdiction, exclusive courts of all the states. Basically, I think this is just saying, like, hey, we have jurisdiction because you committed federal crimes, and this is a federal district court. So he goes, why do you have jurisdiction over me? Because we're a federal court, dick! Yeah. In challenging the court's jurisdiction, Fogel states that he, quote, relies on document number 106, pages 1 through 23, filed on 9/21/2011 with this court. Docket 110 at 2. Document number 106 is a motion to enter Americus Curiae brief filed by Frank Eldwin Pate, an inmate at the same prison where Jared Fogel is housed. Pate's filing contends the district court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over Fogel and states, quote, whether a judicial judgment is lawful depends on whether the sovereign has authority to render it. God, I want to see the court filing that dude made so bad. Because it's got to be terrible. Where is it? Jared Fogle, Sovereign Citizen Court filing. I don't know. Is there a documentary about Jared Fogle? I'd watch that. Fogle's motion illustrates how not to challenge a federal conviction. Jared Fogle once pitched Subway sandwich. Blah, 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 blah. Is there a link? Is there a link to the filing? No. Lame. All right. That's enough Jared Fogle, I guess. I don't know.